Hello, everyone. Happy Halloween for everyone west of the international date line or east or whatever. I am James FNX. I'm joined by Tracy M for week 2 of the Link to the Past Randomizer League. Tracy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful, and we're gonna have a nice little race here between tstew14 representing the Double Dippers and Fantallis representing But We're Buddies. This is the second race this week for these two teams. Double Dippers did get the win earlier this week, so they are sitting at 2-1 and 6 points, and But We're Buddies are still looking for their first win.
Yeah,
Today,
go ahead.
Today we got an open mode seed. Rando the way the developers intended. Nothing special, nothing super interesting or exotic here. You're just looking for 7 crystals to beat Ganon. You have to go through Ganon's tower. Everything that, if you've played Rando before, you've probably done.
Yeah, we'll get this layout fixed out in just a second, but for now we do have, we will be able to see what's going on, so just be a little smaller for a second.
Getting things
Here we
kicked
go.
off. Both runners are going to start at Link's house to find one big rupee.
Yeah, still pretty poor. That rupee's not going to do much for us.
Rich. Looks like they're both going to continue up to go and check out the uncle. Both runners grabbing a sign here to kill one enemy. They're going to check out this tree pull. If you've killed an enemy and you pull certain trees and Link to the Past, they'll drop items.
And magic. Not the worst thing in the world, but not what they're looking. Really, what they want most is bombs. Obviously, a big 20 wouldn't be bad either.
Yeah, bombs or big 20s is what you're literally looking for out of those tree pulls. Small magic, not the greatest. See if they get something to do with that magic. It's not going to be in an uncle's areas. Our uncle has only a small rupee, a 5-drop, and just a piece heart in the chest.
And I'm also going to point out that unless you actually get somebody to continue on into the escape, the way Fantallis did this, a little bit more efficient because you don't have to walk all the way back from the chest there, whereas you can just mirror out. And Sanctuary, 20 rupees. So now we have 27 because... and Fantallis with 32 because he must have killed one extra thing to get an extra 5. We're poor.
Yeah, doing a quick crystal check in the light world. It looked like Tower Hera is a blue pendant and our other 2 dungeons are regular crystals.
Yeah, we'll see if they get sucked into Hera. That does often happen in these situations. Looks like Fantallis going to go straight into the Lost Woods to get the items there, whereas it looks like tstew may pull another tree, try and get a different tree pull.
Potentially,
not gonna do it.
Gonna take a look at this lumberjack ledge item as we see a big 20 at the mushroom spot.
Ooh, nice bush crab.
Yeah, these bush crabs, they drop items, and as soon as you pick one up, it drops another one, and this time it's a big 20 rupees. So tstew's gonna have plenty of money heading into Kakariko. We'll see if Fantallis checks out the one bush crab here. It's gonna be, there's one that's kind of out of the way at this point, so I doubt you're gonna see that from Fantallis. You should still be able to get enough money to get through Kakariko. tstew is looking to set up another tree pull here, though, killing a couple enemies. Once you kill 4 enemies, there's a second set of drops that show up depending on whether or not you've taken damage before.
Also, rip Mirror Shield, because even if they have to kill Aga for the Dark Gold Axes, no one's going back for that small shield.
No one is ever going to go complete lumberjack ledge for a shield.
And Fantallis just going to go ahead and buy bombs right away. Kind of surprised he doesn't at least check the tavern to maybe see if he can score some there, but this works fine. He's got plenty of money.
Yeah, it's always feel bad when you... ooh, speaking of bombs, tstew with this tier 2
nice.
gets bombs, so won't have to spend time buying bombs at the start of Kakariko. And going north to south means you'll be at the shop where you can buy some bombs at the end of the Kakariko loop, and won't have to waste the time heading up and down.
Yeah, tstew with enough money to buy bombs and get the bottle vendor. So worst case scenario for him is he just buys bombs on his way out because he's got enough. The 4 he's got is enough to complete Kakariko. get a first look into... Oh, nice hook shot. And some blue mail. And a hammer. And a shovel. The shovel's got to downgrade that just a little bit. But it's really nice blinds cut.
Yeah, almost the full Death Mountain starter kit there.
It's like not a whole lot in the well, though. But the runners will switch places and get the other items. And of course, Fantallis is going to have to decide whether he wants to go farm for more money to get that bottle vendor. It's a tough one to leave behind, but it's a lot of extra time if you're going to farm it.
Yeah, it's 30 rupees every trip into Blind's hut, and it's probably like 15 seconds or so to get those rupees. It's pretty slow.
Yeah. I think he's going to be able to get it with just one more trip. Maybe just go into the well instead, because he looks like he's going to be just off by 8. Oof. And if he does skip it, he's just going to miss some red mail. But that is a really nice safety to get basically, well, not for free because you're spending money on it, but time-wise, it's basically free.
Yeah, I'm sure both our runners are comfortable with lower percentage equipment, but finding red mail is definitely something that will give a little peace of mind later on in the seed.
Okay, one more item here in Kakariko. And just 10 arrows. We'll head down to the race game. We'll see if tstew chooses to check it first, or if he chooses to blind check it. One of the nice things about that hook shot is that when they get to Mini Moldorm Cave, they're only going to need the bombs to get in. That hook shot will make quick work of those Moldorms. So, bomb count, not really an issue at this point. Oh,
yeah, as we see a vanilla book library. We'll see if that's required. But yeah, I was just thinking that same point. 4 bombs is not a ton heading out of Kakariko, because you normally need one for Hype Cave, or one for Mini Moldorm Cave, one for Ice Rod Cave, and one for Aghanon. But having this hookshot means you're not going to have to waste any bombs in Mini Moldorm Cave killing those Moldorms.
Also 300 on the race game, and I think tstew thought about it for a second, because that gets you really close to that Zora money. That's actually kind of a tough call, because like I mean, it's so much money that you're early enough in the game that it's still worth it. But you're gonna get money elsewhere, so and no flippers, no glove yet, Zora not even in Logic, so I don't blame him for skipping it.
Yeah, I think if Zora was in Logic, you might see one of these runners decide to go pick that 300 up, but not having access to Zora yet, they're going to let it sit there, as there's only 20 rupees buried in the ground with a shovel. And tstew's going to make our first dip into South Shore.
And one other thing I'm going to point out, early on, Fantallis seemed to get into Kakariko with a bit of a lead because he skipped some of those checks like the Lumberjack. But tstew, having been able to do that extra tree pull, just was able to route Kakariko so much more efficiently that he's got a tiny bit of a lead. Not that a lead, 7 minutes in means much, but it's because it's a long game, but it's just something to take note of.
Yeah, tstew doing a very nice hookshot clip in the dam to get that chest without having to make 2 trips in here. It's one of those Japanese 1.0 cart glitches that is the reason we run rando on this. Is several glitches in there allow us to go faster. This is one of them. The most famous, of course, being spin speed. Is we find an ice rod.
You're ready for a pendant turtle rock?
I don't even care if I find ice rod this early. I'm just fine with it.
Yeah, it's not. You're not. Yeah, no ice rod go mode. So that's the worst go mode in the game. So.
Remembering about this. We're remembering about this bush crab. Grab some more rupees. Nice little
very quick work with that.
Dodging that one over the corner.
And a glove. So we got 2/3 of our Dark World access already. No sword yet, but hey. And a flute. Nice. We got Death Mountain access as well.
That is the full Death Mountain starter kit now, between the hookshot thing and the flute. Yeah, with all of that, you'll be able to full clear everything on Light World Death Mountain except for except for whatever's on Spectacle Rock, whatever's in that tablet, and potentially one item in Tower of Hera.
And frankly, the runners don't really want to go into Hera anyway.
Yeah, as a pendant, you want to do that as a last resort. Interestingly, both these runners deciding to continue on to Ice Rod Cave even after finding that flute.
Well,
Does have a good.
I mean, not for the cane. Yeah, the cane doesn't open anything right now, but not having to worry about that later is definitely nice. But yeah, to your point, a lot of runners will bail at that point, activate the flute, and they can just go over to Ice Rod Cave anytime they want with that flute.
A cane of Samaria may be required. Does unlock 2 dungeons, but it also makes things go real fast now with the diver down and icebreaker glitches.
Yeah, and you never know, you might need to go to the right side for the GT big key, and he can not have that cane when that happens.
Getting a look at the back of Escape from both our runners here. Both runners deciding, oh no, actually Fantallis is going to head and turn that flute. Was nothing in the back of Escape for tstew other than a red boomerang.
Yeah, and gets him closer to that Zora money, so, you know, he'll be able to... He should be close enough that once he gets there, if he wants to fake flipper over there or something, he can. Although I don't like the play to Zora until you either have the flippers, and it's in logic, or... Well, sorry, in logic with the glove. Or you have a Moon Pearl or Boot, so you can sequence break the Waterfall Fairy Cave. Just make the whole check more efficient.
Yeah, exactly. I would suspect that our runners are going to head up to Death Mountain after turning in this flute.
Yeah, like that called Paradox Cave, 7 items by itself, plus a bunch of other items in the area. Fantallis is going to be the first one over there. He's going to have to do the dark room with the hook shot. Not too bad, though.
Yeah, not a lot of threat in this dark room. It's one of the easier ones. It is somewhat more difficult not having a sword. There's a pit you have to dodge, but both these runners know exactly what they're doing in here.
Yeah, and it's the first one you learn, really. It's, I think, the most important one to learn.
Oh, it does look like Fantallis did take a little dip in a pit, but is picking up the old man now and heading back over.
Meanwhile, you can use boomerang strats instead.
Yeah,
Pretty similar.
Yeah, the hookshot locks you in place while you're shooting, whereas the boomerang you can move around a little bit.
Looks like he just... It's like we got a fall from tstew there as well.
Yeah, Fantallis did manage to navigate this old man out and gets 1 solitary arrow.
Thanks, old man. It is the one item that actually is not in logic at this point because of the lack of the lamp.
Yeah, this is kind of a dangerous area for both these runners. Even with red mail, these rocks will deal 100 damage no matter what. If I was tstew, I probably would have swallowed my pride a bit and up, and there you go.
Yeah, I know where you're going with it. Go back in, get that quick heal.
Ooh, as we see Mitts on Fantallis' side inside Symmetrical Rock. He's going to grab those, and tstew will see those shortly as well.
Also, a bottle sitting there up on the Spectacle Rock ledge, which we can't get right now.
Yeah, we still have not collected a bottle yet. The first bottle will open up 1 item back in Kakariko later at the Sick Kid. Won't be able to get this one until we have Mirror, but there's going to be plenty to do before that up here on Death Mountain. Finding those Mitts is going to loop it another 6 checks.
Well, right now, at the Moon Pearl, we can't actually do most of them. We could do Super Bunny, and it wouldn't surprise me if either of the runners chose to just do the Super Bunny Cave right now. Can't do Hookshot Cave without a Moon Pearl, though.
That is true. Although I wouldn't be surprised with what the seed has given us to find the Moon Pearl in Paradox Cave.
Not at all.
tstew is going to bail here, though.
No, I think he just figures it's faster to save and quit to the mountain cave. Yeah, he's
That's
just gonna...
true.
I've never personally timed it out, but you know, it's one of those things that different runners will do different things there. And Fantallis down to 1 heart, but he'll get 2 free ones in these pots here. And there's our money.
Fantallis is somewhat rich.
Still can't afford Zora. tstew will be able to afford Zora after those pickups.
You're seeing the wonders of red mail right here. Those mini Moldorms will do 1 heart of damage to a green mail character, but what red mail, this room becomes way less of a risk.
So far, we're not getting a whole lot out of here. Looks like Fantallis is going to continue on into Spiral Cave. Should get a quick check of the float. Oh, no. Yeah. We're going to get a quick check of the floating island, and it's powder. Oh, gosh. So, two early fetch quests sitting there. Oh, looks like Fantallis is going to continue all the way over to Hera.
Yeah, this makes sense. You're going to want to come back and do Spiral Cave and then Super Bunny after that. So there's no reason to. You're guaranteed 1 item out of here. I don't hate this too much.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where sometimes, you know, this could pay out because, you know, Pendant Hera could have something. Of course, it is Pendant Hera, so you don't necessarily have to do it. If this is a small key, I would just definitely bail. It is a big key, so it looks like he'll probably keep on going. He's not going to choose to do Hera Pot. A little more difficult without boots to do that. tstew also going to go into Hera.
Yeah, with the hammer, this beetle room is made pretty easy. tstew also deciding to skip out on Hera Pot.
Fantallis going to do get a hook shot across, and
so
now
we know,
ball.
You know there's an item guaranteed to be locked in the basement by finding the map and small key in those 2 chests.
Yeah, ouch. Not a nice Hera.
Not at all. And at this point, you're kind of priced into completing this dungeon, at least getting 1 item out of this trip.
Looks like tstew is going to fall from above. It's a little more efficient than falling down 2 flights after doing the hook shot.
This Moldorm fight with a hammer is 3 shots with a hammer, and you can manipulate Moldorm to kind of move towards you and then go away. So it's a pretty easy fight, as Fantallis showed us here. Let's see what it pays off with. A sword.
Wow. So I'm not sure how you feel. I mean, a sword is good, and we don't know where the other swords are. So how necessary this ends up being, I don't know. But definitely worse things you can get out of there, so you don't feel too bad about getting a sword out of this.
Yeah, there's not a ton of things left for our runners. There's the front of escape, there's Eastern area, and
good old Agena.
Agena and Spiral Cave, which you're going to check out now. Super Bunny Cave is not in logic as of right now.
I suspect they'll do it. You're right here. You could score something good. Obviously, it's not going to be your next logical progression. It certainly won't be your Moon Pearl.
Right. Yeah, but I would be surprised if they pass up on this.
Yeah, I would too.
Someone asking what's in the basement. We know there's an item in the basement. We found the map and compass already, so we're leaving 1 item behind.
There is a thing. Yeah, there is a thing in the basement. What that thing is, we may never know. And a nice Master Sword. So yeah, it's kind of, well, we got the myths in Spectacle Rock Cave, but pretty much after that it was just a couple of swords, not a whole lot else. And Fantallis decides not to do the Super Bunny checks. We'll see what.
Yeah,
decides.
we're gonna have to go up there again probably. I might have checked it just to get a map check as well, to see if you're gonna need to be in that area again, if Turtle Rock's Crystal.
And tstew, same thing. So far, the only real route divergence other than approaching Kakariko from like a different order. Tstew is already done Back of Escape, and Fantallis is not. Green Pendant in Swamp Palace, ew. We already have Hookshot, so if these guys aren't hovers, they don't have to worry about that at least.
Right, yep. Yeah, so the time that Fantallis took checking Lumberjack Cave is what tstew used to do Back of Escape, and neither of those paid off at all.
No, I believe it was tstew that checked Back of Escape. He was a little more thorough at the beginning. Sorry, checked Lumberjack.
Oh yeah, you're right. Fantallis took a bunch of time in Kakariko because he didn't have money for bombs.
Yep.
Or bombs. Yeah, Fantallis is going to check Back of Escape now. He's going to find a little bit more cash. tstew is going to choose to continue this on to Eastern Palace, whereas Fantallis bailed out at Strassel's hut.
Yeah, I think that Back of Escape may have been calling him. tstew, having already done Back of Escape, is right here. We're still in that Sphere 1, so you know, go ahead and check this out. Eastern, not my favorite play in this situation. I might have done Front of Escape first, just because this is not shaping up to be an Agassiz, although we did just get 2 swords. We have not seen a lamp. But when you already have Mitts and Hammer, you kind of expect to see the Moon Pearl. At this point, the only Agassiz we could have is if Moon Pearl sitting there on the pyramid ledge or something leading to it. And those seeds are pretty darn rare.
Yeah, it looks like Fantallis agrees with you. He's going to head into the Front of Escape right now, so we get a lot of information here from both our runners.
Yeah, a lot of times, you know, a lot of runners will choose to do Eastern first if they are sniffing out an Agassiz. I guess I should point that out, just because then you can do the escape into the Aga play. We already see that small key, but we've already done the back, so we don't really care about it.
Yeah, all it tells us this Dark Cross is going to have an item.
Have we seen the map yet?
I thought we saw the map in the Back of Escape, but I'm not positive.
Quick swap being the dirty thing that it is means we won't see Fantallis' menu to see if he has a map.
There's a fire rod in
That's a nice
Palace.
pickup.
That doesn't really do a ton for us. So there's the bow. That puts that combination of things puts the boss of Eastern into logic. Although tstew's gonna have to go to the Front of Escape to get that bow first.
Yeah, unless there's a second bow in here, which not impossible, but not likely.
That is some awkward ordering here.
But definitely better for Fantallis to get it in the order that he did. He's working on damaging himself down, so it looks like he's ready to do a death warp to go to the Dark Cross.
Yeah, that fire rod also puts the Dark Cross item into logic, whatever it may be.
The difference, of course, is that Fantallis can go ahead and do the item anyway. Oh, there's that map.
There's that map, yeah. So there is an item in Dark Cross. And with the big key in Vanilla location, Eastern Palace, that means that boss is not going to be in logic. Their lamp is logically required for it. Of course, our runners are not going to care about that. But
yeah, even without the fire rod, they probably still do it. When at least Fantallis will do it. I don't know if tstew will be. Like, that might be 3 items right there, so he might save the clear of Eastern for later.
right,
Fantallis will definitely do it. He would probably do it with or without the fire rod. The fire rod just make it a lot easier.
Yeah, Quake Medallion showed up for tstew in the big chest. One thing that does mean is where I don't know if that was 3 items in East or not. Even if it isn't, it is highly unlikely that Moon Pearl is on Armos.
Agina, anyone? We're down to not much.
I could see Moon Pearl right here in Dark Cross.
Could be here. This isn't logic. And
It
a
is.
Bombos.
It is something round, but it is not the Moon Pearl. It's the Bombos medallion. That's 2 of our 3 medallions.
Yeah, might be required, might not be required.
So at this point, there's Agana's Cave and Zora.
That's pretty much it. Fantallis heading over to Eastern, which is exactly what makes the most sense for him. He can full clear this, even though it's not in logic.
Yeah, he's not going to leave without killing Armos Knights.
And if we do see a lamp pop up, then we do get that possibility of that Moon Pearl sitting there on that pyramid ledge. I know chat would like to see something like that. Also interesting to know, depending on the Turtle Rock medallion requirement, we may already have access to Turtle Rock as soon as we get a Moon Pearl.
Yeah, nothing like Turtle Rock second seed. tstew with a nice play there in the boomerang room, using the ice rod to kill the blue guard and not worrying about grabbing the key, because you don't need the key. You don't need to open that door after Dark Cross.
tstew also sitting in for a Death Warp, and you know, that's one time when you're not so happy with that red mail.
Yeah, at least this guard chunks you for a half a damage no matter what mail you have.
Also, now, a really ugly possibility that Basement and Hera now in logic.
That is true.
Wow, we have really bad checks right now. Like, really, really bad checks.
We do have some terrible, terrible checks. We have,
and you can't even get the Waterfall Fairy at the same time as Zora yet, because we still don't have a Moon Pearl or a Flippers or even a Boots.
We have a Zora, we have an Agnes Cave, we have a Hera Basement, and enjoy runners. Just enjoy.
See what tstew decides to do next.
It's a game of which check do you hate the least?
Pretty much. Well, he hates Agina the least. So.
This also gives you a bit of information with Desert Ledge, which only ends up being 3 bombs. So in terms of raw information, this is the best check of the 3.
Yeah, and we know where the book is. If we had boots, we could go get it. Sitting there on that library in its a vanilla location. Just arrows at Agina. Okay, so which bad check? I guess you have to do Zora at this point. Like the basement of. Oh, looks like we're gonna do that. That's such a long walk because we don't have a mirror.
You have to walk all the way around, and then you have to wait for the basement. It's gonna be like a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes to get this check done.
I mean, as much as I don't like orphaning those other checks in that Zora area, this is so slow. I mean, it could be the answer. We're down to a 50-50. Dataput in chat calling for a bunny revival ice palace, which I guess technically we could do right now. No one would. But that would be a pretty crazy play.
Yeah, there's just such... Honestly, there's not much these runners need for this seed anymore. There's boots are likely required with where the book's at, and Desert Palace being a crystal. We need that Moon Pearl. We don't need a mirror. Strange to say is there's a chance that this could be Moon Pearl go mode.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Yeah, we don't need a mirror. We don't technically need the flippers for Ice Palace. I mean, logically we do, of course, but we don't need it. We don't know medallion requirements, so that's definitely a thing. logically you want a lamp, but again, they got the fire rod, so they don't need the lamp. Fantallis going to go to his disappointing Agena check.
Yeah, and we'll see after that whether he decides to follow tstew up to Hera or do the Zora check. tstew getting knocked off these. Might be setting up a death warp. That's probably what's going on.
I don't know. Where do you go next after this? I mean, they still have Super Bunny, but that's still not going to be your moon pearl at this point. If you didn't check it earlier.
Oh, gross! Those are the flippers in Hera, which opens up 3 more checks for us in logic.
Yeah, I mean, it turned out to be the right play because now we can do all the Zora checks at the same time, at least. But the answer is definitely over there. Just question is, looks like Fantallis going to do this. Nope, Fantallis going to go straight over to Zora. So if this is Zora, then advantage Fantallis. If it's in the waterfall ferry or on the ledge, advantage tstew.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's on Hobo, advantage neither.
Yeah, good point. Forgot about that Hobo. It looks like Fantallis can do the Hobo first. tstew going to do the Zora checks first.
I like doing Waterfall Cave first. It's the check you couldn't do without flippers.
Nice tempered sword. Fantallis might not get that. Just piece of heart the Hobo.
All right, so it's either the ledge or it's Zora, and it is not the ledge.
Not the ledge. Okay, Zora, what do you got for us?
So this is going to be a moon pearl, a lamp, a mushroom, or a mirror.
Powder?
Or
No.
or boots. We know where powder's at. It could be boots as well.
Right, powder's sitting there on that floating island.
It is the
It
moon
is
pearl.
straight up the moon pearl.
So those flippers are not going to hurt Fantallis all that much. In fact, Fantallis may just never get those flippers unless something is required in Swamp in this seed.
Yeah, if something's required in Swamp, then definitely advantage tstew. We're gonna call this pretty even at this point. Fantallis having finished Eastern already, but that won't take tstew long when he gets to it. But tstew having that tempered sword for now, he'll have a bit of an advantage with that tempered sword.
Looks like we got green pendant at Swamp, regular pendant in Thieves Town. I didn't catch where the other 5/6 crystal is at.
Pendant Thief sounds always icky.
I also didn't catch what medallion we need for Misery Mire. If tstew has it, he's probably doing it. It looks like he's busting out Bombos, so...
Yeah, especially with that tempered sword, this is not a bad play. You can full clear it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantallis is going to choose to take his Dark World access and head over to Hype Cave. Going to grab a little more information, or a little more items before doing some dungeon hopping.
Yeah, and honestly, that might be the difference between having that tempered sword and having just the Master Sword. I'd feel much better going into Mire with the Master Sword, especially, without silvers. Although, having the bow definitely does help.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mire's one of our 5/6 crystals along with Skull Woods, as we got to check from Fantallis. So we are potentially an Ether Medallion, and then either the boots or a mirror away from Go Mode, I believe.
Yeah, of course, depending on we might need both boots and mirror depending on where those boots are. Because if mirror gets us into Desert Palace, but if there's a key on the torch, then we might still need those boots behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we are a whole lot of route divergence right now. Fantallis looks like he's going to go check the pyramid ledge. And maybe go into pod after this, which he can full clear.
It looks like Hype K was kind of a sleeper for us again today. I don't see anything new picked up for...
Yeah, there was nothing in Hype. For Fantallis, I think I like this choice better, again, only having that Master Sword. Having a Master Sword instead of a Tempered in pod, not a huge difference. Makes a lot more difference in Mire.
Yeah, this Vitreous fight is a rough one. Because our runners don't have enough health to do the typical NMG strats of just diving in and doing spin attacks and clearing out the small eyeballs that way. They're going to be leaning heavily on that sword and arrows to get this done.
And there's our big key. Tstew gonna have to be careful. He is down to 1.5 hearts. There's no good places to refill in Mire if you don't have powder. Although
yeah, it's done.
We don't have any bottles yet.
Yeah, we don't have any bottles yet. This dungeon is really unforgiving. Plus, we're gonna have to do the basement in the dark, and that is probably the toughest dark room. Maybe the second toughest dark room.
Yeah, most people, when they cite the tough dark rooms, it's that one and the eastern to the back when you don't have a fire rod.
And turtle room.
And Fantallis not gonna have to worry about that because he just found himself a lamp.
A lamp in our first check here in pod, whereas Mire has 2 hearts as its only prizes.
Yeah, and Tstew's thinking better of finishing up Mire right now. Down to half a heart there. He was about to die, so just grab the items. I think he did get both items.
Yeah, he got both items. I like this a lot. You don't have to finish Mire right now. It is a 5/6, so it does lock a couple items later, but you know you have to be back in the area anyways to do desert at some point. So I don't hate not finishing the dungeon at all. It is a lot to ask.
And Big Key not in the worst location ever, but at least it's not a God Mire, so he's not gonna lose as much time. Not finishing it right now.
I like this from Tstew as well. Gonna check out Turtle Rock area, see if he needs a medallion or if he is just looking for boots and a way into desert.
Yeah, I agree. And it is Bombo, so boots and desert access. Of course, boots gets us desert access.
Boots gets us that. Yeah, boots would be go mode. Mirror maybe go mode. Depends whether we need the boots or not to clear out desert or GT. But it is just desert access.
Unfortunately, those boots can be just about anywhere. See if Hookshot Cave gives us anything good. More money. We don't need money anymore. Silvers is nice.
Silvers are going to speed up that Armos fight that Tstew didn't do.
And the Vidi fight.
Yeah, make Vidi fairly trivial. Just getting there could be the problem, but actually beating Vidi now is going to be easy peasy.
See what we could have gotten over here at Super Bunny earlier.
Imagine a mirror here. Imagine how gross that would be.
That is pretty gross. Gold sword, though.
Imagine a third sword on Death Mountain.
So yeah, I think Fantallis is never getting that sword over in the waterfall cave. Probably does get that one though.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's gonna pick up the Super Bunny sword when he makes his way up to Turtle Rock, but Gold Sword's going to make Turtle Rock much more palatable.
And
Makes the
Fantallis doing the hammer jump because it's going to make it a lot more efficient to get out of pod, since we don't have a mirror here.
Yeah, Fantallis is going to have to take a Death Warp, and it's in this room. You only want to go through it once. You don't want to have to like walk through and clear out all the items and then come back in again and die. I guess he's not even going to take the Death Warp. He's going to cut across.
He's going to cut across and go do the checks over here on the right.
It makes sense with an early big key.
Rock. I like tstew entering Turtle Rock. This is full clearable. Turtle Rock a little bit better about giving you places, giving you hearts along the way to refill.
Yeah, with red mail, the enemies here don't hit all that hard. I think the most anything does is I think the chain chomps do 2.
Chain chomps are bad, but the rest is not too bad. Okay, so as far as I can tell, the only thing we really got out of pod here was that lamp. That'll be nice for Fantallis. We'll have much easier time in some of these dark rooms. I do suspect that that tstew gets over to pod though before he gets back to Mire. There's no reason for him to rush back to Mire right now.
Yeah, not until you have access to desert. Early big key in Turtle Rock, which may work out in Fantallis' favor later if this ends up being a dungeon you want to go mode.
Yeah, Turtle Rock not the best go mode dungeon ever.
No, but having
a little bit of time.
Yeah, you're going to be able to skip that lava chest if you are go moding it. Good work by tstew to manipulate those chain chomps and avoid taking too much damage before getting on into the next room.
What do we got? The lava chest.
Oh my goodness!
Oh wow. Well, okay. That's
so
a 41-minute go mode.
Yeah, tstew is in go mode now.
Wow.
Interestingly, though, those boots may not be required. They're certainly going to make tstew a lot faster, but they may not be required if we find this mirror somewhere else.
Yeah, it does mean that tstew might miss on the lamp in pod, although probably not because he's going to have to search out that big key.
Yeah, lamp was in the very first. Lamp was in the very first chest.
The very first chest, so he's gonna get it. So it's just a matter of what order do I want to do my dungeons in. Also nice to not have to worry about Mimic Cave over here. Now, what could get really interesting is if Fantallis manages to score a mirror somewhere, and if Desert is not boots locked. I'd still say advantage tstew, just because the boots just make you faster, it just makes things a lot quicker.
Absolutely, this is definitely advantage tstew, having that go mode first and having boots. It's gonna be able to just grind out dungeons at this point, whereas Fantallis is still gonna be hunting.
Although Fantallis may... Oh, is he going to flute out? No, he's going to flute. I thought maybe he was going to do the TR play, but no, he's fluting. And honestly, this rail room, once you've done it a few times, is one of the easier dark rooms. You just got to hold the buttons in the right directions and know when to change inputs.
Yeah, it's... if you have muscle memory to get that refill... island, it can be a little annoying, but yeah, it's pretty much a free dark room.
Yeah, I've seen... Yeah, you don't want to try and go for that refill island. I've seen bad things happen when runners try to do that in the dark. But as long as you decide to ignore that, you're usually fine. It should be... Yeah, I don't think he's going to check anything else here.
Absolutely
I mean,
not. You've got silvers, you've got gold sword. There's nothing that there's nothing.
I know he's got all the luxury items. There's no reason to
The
check
only
it.
thing tstew could find that would make his life easier at this point is half magic. And
yeah.
Okay.
And Fantallis is going to make the trip into Misery Mire. We'll see if he chooses to finish this now or if he'll come back.
Yeah, gold sword's going to turn Trinex into, well, should turn Trinex into a piece of cake, but this ice head is doing some yeoman's work here.
Yeah, tstew did not menu over to the ice rod before the, or menu to the fire rod before the explosion started. And it turns out quick swap works the same way. So quick swap not going to allow you to menu over to that fire rod while the head is exploding. He might not have known that. I've heard that come up a few times where runners who are new to quick swap didn't realize that. Frankly, I didn't realize it either until I saw it happen. So. And in some ways, Fantallis is going to have an easier time if he does decide to go to Vidi. He does already have that lamp, but he doesn't have the silver arrows, and he's only on a Master Sword. So that's going to be a really rough fight for him if he chooses to do it. Okay, tstew, what are you going to do next? We're going to start at the mountain cave. We're going to flute somewhere.
Yep, get the quickest heal of the 3 starting locations is here in Mountain and the Old Man's Cave. And it's going to be a Skull Woods play, it looks like. I was going to get that book and then go do Desert Mire, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to just get whether you're going to do Desert right now or not, it makes a lot of sense to just go ahead and get that book. Nothing worse than forgetting that you didn't actually ever pick up the item when you get to use it. Go to try and use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I think we are going to get the Skull Woods first. Skull Woods is a nice quick dungeon. I could see doing it first. Don't have to search out a big key or anything.
Yeah, you're just heading straight to the back. Nothing. You don't have to check any chests. And tstew has no reason to check chests at this point, so this is going to be as quick as you can do it for Skull Woods.
You know, and in the back of his mind, he might try and save Mire Desert for last, just in case that mirror shows up.
Yeah, that does make sense. It'll make it a lot quicker to go from Mire to Desert with that mirror. Otherwise, you'll have to do Desert first, and then Flute, and then
and really,
Mire.
The same thing for Pot Eastern. So I could see him doing Skull Woods, and he's only going to get potentially 1 item, if any. I don't see him searching for the mirror, but if it does happen to pop on Mothula or happens to pop on Cold Stare, then then you'd save a little bit of time for those dungeons that are right in the same area.
Yeah, I would suspect that he may check Vanilla Big Key Chest and Ice Palace and possibly Spike Chest as well. That'd probably be it.
There's some relatively free checks in Ice Palace that I could see him doing. You're not going to go to Ice Tea, though, for instance.
No, I wouldn't even expect it'll clear Pen Gator.
No, probably not. That's like an extra 20 seconds or so. We do see Fantallis is going to go ahead and finish up Vidi. He's going to have a rough fight, but, very, very doable.
Yeah, Master Sword and no silvers means it's going to be leaning heavily on those arrows with only 4.5 hearts right now.
Yeah, he might throw some bombs in as well. He doesn't have, and he also doesn't have Cape or Cane to make it easier.
Yeah, the one nice thing about the Flute is he could just empty his bomb inventory in this fight and then go to Ice Palace, and before going into Ice Palace, just hit the waterfall or hit the ferry up in that cave on the island where you go get Ice Palace and buy a full pack of bombs.
Okay, I didn't see what we got on Moth, but I'm guessing it was nothing interesting. So if I were to guess, I'm going to say tstew's going into Ice Palace next. Ooh, Fantallis taking a lightning shot. Thankfully, he has red mail.
Yeah, he can take one more hit in this fight before dying. You have to be really careful not to edge up into that that goo, which will deal 100 damage no matter what you're wearing, and that will take that hit away.
Okay, tstew is going to head into Ice Palace. Like I said, this is the play I like.
And for everyone joining us from Speed Gaming 2, welcome to A Link to the Past Randomizer League. We are deep into a race between tstew14 of the Double Dippers and Fantallis, but we're buddies. Fantallis does get that Vitreous fight down, so another crystal picked up for him.
He's got to make his way over to Turtle Rock as soon as he can. And I get not necessarily wanting to go there, but you know, like if you're gonna go up there, you're going up there with the idea that if I have the medallion to go in, I'm going in. And he may not want to do that, so let's see what he does. We do see tstew hitting the switch. A lot of debate over when to hit the switch, when to not hit that switch. You definitely want to hit that switch when you're in go mode. No way you want to be looking for that big key if you're in go mode. I personally like to not hit it if I'm still searching for stuff.
Yeah, I prefer leaving the switch down if I'm looking to full clear Ice Palace. But in go mode, you want to hit that switch so you can just get to the boss without any sort of shenanigans.
Yep.
He's gonna have to pick up the small key here, and then I would not be surprised to see him pick up this chest. He's gonna have to pop it up anyways.
He could walk over the spikes, but he does get an item. More 300 rupees. Remember we were sitting there looking at that 300 rupees sitting there on the race game? Yeah. Definitely a good decision not to go pick that up.
Yeah, and Zora ended up having our Moon Pearl, so it wouldn't have been too bad if other owners had gotten to get that, but at this point... So with having to use an extra shot from Kina Samari, I think tstew's gonna... He's gonna try it with a fire rod. I wouldn't be surprised if this only has 7 shots.
Yeah, so he's using a trick here that if you have full health, the sword beams will actually do fire rod damage, and you'll be able to save about half your magic. He didn't quite get all the shots in, but
yeah, enough dupes to make it count.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Fantallis, he's gonna full clear Skullwoods and not gonna get anything for it, except maybe a mirror. Which doesn't, I mean, it helps him, but doesn't really help him as much as he would want it to.
Yeah, the worst thing for Fantallis here is if he finds the mirror and then goes to desert and finds out his boot's locked.
Well, and even worse than that, the mirror just opens up so many other checks. It opens up Swamp Palace. It just opens up all these cans of worms.
Yeah,
and just
for sure.
Going to.
Yeah, we're gonna see tstew probably head over to Pod now. Or nope, he's gonna do Mire Desert.
Actually, I like this just because I want to see if this is locked. Like the difference between doing this now and doing Mire now, or Pod Eastern now. He might get forced to do the Dark Room in Mire. That's really it.
I think I would have done Eastern into Pod. There's a better chance of finding a mirror in that set of locations, at least from tstew's perspective. There's 2 items here in Desert, and you're likely going to have to find them both. It's really rare where you're going to find a Desert configuration where you aren't going to have to go digging for that big key.
Yeah, and the same thing with Pod. So you're going to be opening a bunch of chests in Pod.
Desert is boots locked.
Yeah, to tstew's point of view, that mirror could be still in Pod. We know it's not. And yeah, hard boots locked Desert with that big key right there. It does mean we're not going to be opening it up for any other chests, though. So that's pretty gross. You have to go to Turtle Rock before you go to Desert. Both for that book and for that big key.
Yeah, I don't see a way forward for Fantallis at this point with how things have laid out. Unfortunately for him.
Yeah, nothing wrong with his choices. They just, it's randomizer. If the boots had been in pod, we'd be telling a whole different story. And boots absolutely could have been there.
Yeah, this has been a rare rando seed where it gives you everything for Turtle Rock second, and then Turtle Rock second was actually the play.
Yeah, and I actually, because it gave, we talked about it. They were a moon pearl away from being able to enter Turtle Rock. And I think that incentivized tstew to go up there. Plus, you've got 6 other checks in that area. So I really liked his choice to do that.
Yeah, being 1 item away from go mode really incentivized you to go and check and see if you were actually 1 item away or not, and seeing what that medallion was. And it ended up being something where tstew could hop in and got paid off handsomely.
Get the nice silvers kill. Always like to see that.
Chat asking where silvers was. One of our bows was in the front of escape, and the other one was in hookshot cave.
Yeah, there is a world in which you don't do, like, with front of escape, we only got that bow. So yeah, it's not impossible they could have just gotten the first one at hookshot. And we're gonna get the pod play next. I would do Eastern first without the mirror. He's gonna have to save him.
I agree.
But
I agree.
6 of 1, half dozen the other. It's not that big a difference. He's hoping to find a mirror in pod.
He's going to find this lamp, which will make that dive back into mire a little bit easier later.
And we're going to get Fantallis in the Village of Outcasts. tstew not even going to touch Village of Outcasts. That's a pretty rare seed that happens.
Yeah, this is an area with 7 items, 10 items with emits, and just to be able to never go there at all.
Not even get sucked into the front 4 of Thievestown.
Yeah,
that happened.
Never. You so rarely see a seed where you can just take a location with this many items and just delete it, ignore it.
Exactly.
Sorry, my copy of the ROM did not have a Village of Outcasts. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so now tstew has that lamp, so that's an extra nice piece of the puzzle for him.
Also, based on Fantallis' route...
Yeah, go ahead.
He's talking about boots is a misery. But based on Fantallis' routing earlier, we know this is going to be a pretty early big key as well. So tstew's not going to spend much time in this dungeon at all.
Yeah, meanwhile, Fantallis going through Thievestown without boots, that's never fun. I think we've seen both map and compass already. Or maybe that was a big key, I forget. But it was definitely nothing that's going to help him. Of course, one of the items in the front 4 always has to be a big key, and there is that big key. tstew knows that there's almost certainly, there has to be a small key right here. You can grab it and go straight to the back.
Yeah,
really nice, favorable. That's a very favorable pod for tstew. Gets a lamp out of the first chest, forced to go to the right side, and then is able to get big key and small key right there.
Yeah, and those first checks of Palace of Darkness, 4 of them have to be small keys, and having the first 2 checks not be that small key means you're logically forced to have a small key in that last chest there.
Did we just see a 0 item front Thievestown? That is really gross for Fantallis.
Yeah, Fantallis is sick of it all. Choosing the honorable death here, death warp with red mail, never what you want to be doing.
Also, this room's not bad with fire rod, so tstew would have been fine. But always nice to not have to worry about that.
Yeah, that room without any fire source is
another
kind of legit terrifying.
Yeah, I guess I would put that one up there with the Eastern room to the back and the Misery Mire one. Like, those are the 3 that generally get cited as the worst dark rooms.
Yeah, you can get kind of creative with arrows to kind of track where the where those terrapins are at, but it is a mess. Fantallis over here on the other side is going to be checking a bunch of things we know aren't relevant in the slightest. Eventually, he's going to make his way up to Dark Death Mountain, get that Tempered Sword, and get those boots out of Turtle Rock, but it might be a while, unfortunately, for Fantallis.
Okay, what are we gonna do next, tstew? Gotta save and quit. Now he's got Eastern. I would do, yeah, I imagine Eastern and then Mire.
Yeah, so you can just
flute from Eastern to Mire. Those darn boulders knock him out of the way of the bird.
Isn't every Death Mountain mechanic great?
Death Mountain.
Boulders, dead rocks.
Rocks, yep. Without a mirror, Fantallis grabs the smith and we'll take him on a bit of a world tour. Although I think he's only got Stumpy left. I'm pretty certain Fantallis did Hype Cave right away.
Yeah, I believe he did Hype Cave and then headed up to Pyramid after that. The worst part about this is now he's committed. He's got to turn the smith back in before he can do anything else. Because you can't go into any dungeons with him.
And still without those boots, it's such a slow walk. And just 10 arrows from the smiths.
We'll see if Fantallis decides to finish off the smith chain with purple chest. Nope, he's heading up the mountains, so his long nightmare might be over here pretty soon.
tstew going to make very quick work of the Armos Knights with these silver arrows.
Yeah, nice quick kill there from tstew.
And now it'll be off to Misery Mire. And he's already cleared Misery Mire, so he just needs to go to the back and kill Viddy. And when he was there before, he was something like 7 or 8 hearts, Tempered Sword, but no silvers. Now he's got silvers, he's got gold sword, he's got all sorts of choices for Viddy, although he'll just use silvers. There's no reason not to.
He was also lampless before then, too.
That's right, he was lampless.
So went from a genuinely difficult dungeon to as free as you please.
Yep, and in fact, not only was he lampless, he was down to a half a heart picking up that last item in the spike room, so... I think in the end it turned out to be a good choice, I think, for him to bail when he did.
Yeah, there's no reason to, like, risk beating your head against a dungeon where you'd already found both items in order to beat it when there was just so much else you could do there.
And Fantallis making the right play going into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Fantallis went straight there, chose not to do Super Bunny Cave or Hookshot Cave. So he's going to be sitting on Master Sword for this try-next fight.
Yeah, that's going to make it a little bit rougher, but definitely doable. He's got a hammer that'll help him out if he wants to use it. Like, I would have liked this better if he'd at least had a Tempered Sword for him to go in right away. When tstew went in here, he had gotten a Tempered Sword out of... where was that Tempered Sword that he got?
That was in Waterfall Fairy.
Cave. Yep, that's right. Because Fantallis never did pick up those flippers sitting there in the basement of Hera.
Yeah, tstew did not do spooky setup, so the traditional Mire finish here for him.
It's not that big a deal, you know. It's a few seconds
No.
time lost to not do it, but
Yeah, and if I'm on tstew's side, I don't think there's any way I can feel like I'm behind. You might feel like it's close, but you cannot feel behind when you're in go mode 40 minutes in.
Fantallis, on the other hand, is going to see these boots. And I think he's going to feel behind. Although he did skip some stuff, they might say, oh, maybe my opponent continued on and did like purple chest and stuff, so it'd be hard to read if you're Fantallis, I suppose.
I think that not having access to desert yet, finding those boots here in lava chest, you're going to feel very behind.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Fantallis has been hunting for go mode as well for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they got into the Dark World at about the same time, and tstew immediately did the Mire and TR plays. Fantallis starting off with Hype Cave and into Pod. And of course, oh wait, we are done with Mire, so yeah, we got a little game to play. You want to tell them about this game?
Yeah, do you like internet points? I know you do. So there are 22 locations at Ganon's Tower where this big key can be sitting at for our runners. And tstew is going to walk us through it, and you can guess which location he finds that big key in. If you're right, or if you're the closest to being right, you'll get some of those valuable internet points and get up on our speed gaming leaderboard for the big key guessing game. We will close off our entries as soon as tstew gets into Ganon's Tower, which will be just another screen or two. So get those guesses in real quick.
Of course, the fun part is we don't have a mirror, so if that big key is deep, we might see some nasty death warping, or we might see some interesting routing. Or maybe the mirror just is right there sitting on the torch or something. Although, wouldn't it break if you hit it off the torch?
You'd think that.
In fact, with all the stuff that we cleared between the two runners, there's a really good chance that mirror is somewhere in here.
tstew's going to start out looking at these two hope chests, hoping for a big key right off the bat. Just heart in the first chest, and ether in the second, so he's going to have to take the slow route and cut across and go over to the left side.
And not having a Dark Magician strats without a mirror either, so he'll go, he'll go left.
The other fun thing with the mirror is we're almost guaranteed to see Ice Armos. All right, I guess we're not. You can skip Ice Armos. We're likely to see a big chest though. We won't open it, but we'll see it.
At this point, I mean, there's nothing he could want. I mean, the one luxury item he doesn't have is the powder to powder the antifiers at the top.
We know where the powder's at, though.
Bottle. We can't get it because no mirror, and you're not going to go back for it. Also, we could find a bottle would be nice. I mean, we've seen a bottle. We have not picked up a bottle.
Bottle would be okay. Half magic would be okay. Mushroom would be okay. Mushroom would let tstew do a fake powder in that pre-molder room.
That was number 8, I believe.
That is correct. Number 9 coming up here in the fire bar room, or the fire sink room.
Is a full heal piece of heart, which maybe is not what you want if you're going to plan on death warping out.
Yeah, I think this far in, you just don't worry about death warping and you just walk it out. You're only 2 screens away from getting back upstairs.
I think that's fair. 10 is bombs. 11 is rupees. 12 is a blue cane. Hey, there's our
There's
mirror.
There's a mirror. So I won't have to worry about walking it out anymore. I was going to say Big Key ending up in Compass Room after all this and no mirror would have been the worst possible thing for T-Stew.
That would have been horrible.
But mirror is going to bail that possibility out. Teleport of shame for T-Stew.
You know, if you're gonna do that, I would have just picked up the arrows.
Same. You're gonna get arrows here, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much.
But at least you can say, well, I just wanted the arrows.
Eke every little bit of advantage you can out of your routing.
That's right. Instead, grab a couple extra arrows here. And there's the big key. You won't even have to worry about the ice armos. Actually, that's kind of a terrible spot for the big key if you end up without the mirror. So it's good he picked it up.
And that would have been location number... Let's see, there's 8 locations left. So that's location 14. Find out who our winner is in the Big T guessing game in just a moment.
It'll be interesting to see if T-Stew... No, okay. This is a situation where I might have considered going and bonking into the ferries since we don't have that powder. Not able to do a whole lot of refilling at the top of Ganon's tower. But T-Stew says, you know what? I can't guarantee that my opponent didn't also get into go mode as quickly as I do. I'm just going to go ahead and go. Which is also a valid choice.
Yeah, I think if T-Stew had a bottle at that point, I think he probably would have gotten a fairy. But at this point... Yeah, he could have
picked one up and saved it. Yeah, that would have also been an option.
At this point, I don't know, like I said, I don't know how far T-Stew feels he's ahead. Like, there isn't a lot that there are a lot of things that you could have done that he didn't do. But it's really easy to see your opponent making the same route as you do. So it's really hard to get an idea of just how far ahead you are. Although being in GT at an hour 11 minutes, you got to feel okay, right?
Yeah, you got to feel pretty good. But you also think, well, what if my opponent went to Turtle Rock before Meyer?
Exactly. Meanwhile, Fantallis is making this... this Trinex fight just got really bad.
Oh, yeah, he ran out of magic.
Ran out of magic.
That hurts. So I'm gonna just let himself die. I hope he took the bonk or the... Yeah. Oh, he's all the way back to the big chest. That hurts a lot. Grabs the heart, gets bunnied. Oh, that's just an ugly room for a T-Stew right now.
Get the chest, assert dominance.
Yeah, maybe he's hoping for... Yeah, I was hoping for a bottle or like a sank heart. Okay, Fantallis gonna go get his boots. I guess he's gonna go. He'll finish Turtle Rock later. I guess he figured, yeah, at this point, you know, he can finish it up later and have better equipment for it.
Yeah, we know that all you need is those boots from Turtle Rock. So it is go mode for Fantallis.
right. tstew finishing up Aga 2 very quickly. Just needs to go to the Ganon fight. He's going to have to be a little careful. 4 hearts, but fortunately he does have that red mail.
Yeah, red mail, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and grabs a fairy down here.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea at all.
And we finally do have a winner for our big key guessing game. Spirit Fox 22 gets those big internet points for guessing 14 on the nose. So congratulations to Spirit Fox. tstew proved me wrong yet again and just deciding to hop in here with 4 hearts. Gold Sword means a guaranteed 1-1. Can take 1 hit from these fire bats. But why would you even take 1 hit?
Ideally, you don't.
Sets up really well there with that poke to get through the first part of phase 3 again and as well.
Now, and past that phase 2 round now, basically the safest part. Shouldn't be taking any more damage at this point. You should be fine with those 4 hearts.
Yeah, the only way this could get tricky is if you let Ganon hop and shoot out those fire bat circles. That poke avoided that for tstew, and now it should be smooth sailing from here on out.
Oh, almost got the triple.
Yeah, double's good enough though. One more shot here, and there it is. tstew14 is going to cross that bridge and give us a winner here in this race, moving the Double Dippers up to 9 points, 3-1 in the league, and But We're Buddies is going to go to 0-4 on the season.
Rough start for But We're Buddies.
Get those GGs out in chat for tstew, your winner today. With an official racetime.gt time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 23 seconds. GG's to tstew and the Double Dippers.
Meanwhile, Fantallis is going to finish up his desert fight.
Kudos to Fantallis for continuing this. A lot of runners would just decide to pack it up after what has been a rough run for Fantallis in the seed. But Fantallis continuing on here, gets that crystal out of desert. See where he heads up next.
Yeah, and he didn't check, having not checked any of those Dark World areas, he's not going to get his silvers, he's not going to get his Tempered Sword. Unless he decides to check Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave right before going back into Turtle Rock.
Heading to Ice Palace here. Does that fake flipper? Through Ice Palace, Fantallis goes. Should be hitting the switch here to set up the icebreaker. Meanwhile, we will hopefully be joined by tstew here in just a moment.
Okay, looks like we are going to get tstew in for an interview. And there he is. GG, tstew.
GG's, thanks.
So, I gotta ask, when you got those boots, which put you in go mode at like 40 some odd minutes, how are you feeling? I mean, did you feel ahead, or did you feel like, what if my opponent did TR before Meyer?
Yeah, I was a bit worried at that point. I wasn't sure what was gonna happen there.
Yeah, it's one of the quicker go modes we've seen in the league so far. Pretty clean race from you. A lot of really good decisions, a lot of really good routing. How are you feeling seeing so much of the seed opened up in like the first 20 minutes in Light World?
That was pretty interesting. Just getting pretty much everything but the pearl.
Yeah.
Had to go to Dark World.
We were speculating there was potential for a Moon Pearl go mode in this seed, depending on where those boots were going to be at.
Yeah, those boots were the only thing I needed after I got the pearl.
That's right. And then we were speculating the Turtle Rock play, because at one point before he got the Moon Pearl, I'm like, once he gets Moon Pearl, he's got everything to go into Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah, I was thinking that too once I got like the mitts.
And so, I mean, what made you go into Meyer first?
Just a quick check, and then I was there, so I just decided to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not the best idea, because probably wasn't going to beat it with that equipment.
Yeah, that loadout was pretty bad for you. And I think it was good you bailed. You did. I did like the priority of doing those 2 dungeons though, because you want to know if you need that. I think it was ether that you guys didn't have at the time. You want to know if you need that.
Yeah, that was the reason why I went there first, just because I was so close to go mode. I just had to check.
Yeah, unfortunately for Fantallis, he did more traditional routing with Hype Cave into Pod and end up in Village of Outcasts and clearing a bunch of stuff before finally heading into Turtle Rock. So you couldn't have known that you were really far ahead, but you were pretty darn far ahead. And he still hasn't picked up another sword. He hasn't been to either of any of the Dark Death Mountain locations. So no tempered, no silvers, and he didn't get the flippers out of the basement of Hera. He went straight over to Zora, got his Moon Pearl, so missed on that tempered sword that you got.
Yeah, getting those flippers made me feel a bit behind. But getting the Moon Pearl after the flippers, because like it took that was a while for flippers that I ended up not needing.
Yeah, we're joined by now by Fantallis as well. We still see Run and Turtle Rock in here, but a kind of a rough one for you today.
Yeah, that one's not going to end well.
Yeah, do you want to know where your swords and silvers were? Or do you already know?
No, not really. The only thing I actually care about is Mirror.
Yeah, GT.
Mirror's deep in GT. Mirror's in Rando Room.
Because that would have been a far more interesting thing, I think, to... Yeah, either that or a bottle. I don't know. Why I can't just finish a Trinex fight.
We saw a bottle somewhere. I forget where.
Yeah, it's up on top of Spec Rock.
Oh, it's a Spec Rock.
I haven't seen any other ones, though.
We didn't see any others.
I don't know. Apparently I need to go back for a bottleless, no half-magic Trinex fight. You practice everything else. And...
Yeah, it's not an easy fight, to be fair.
Yeah.
But there was a point. There was a point in this seed where after tstew found the boots, we were like, well, Mirror's still out there. Mirror still gets desert access. Maybe the boots aren't needed, and then desert ends up being boots locked in anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, which was good. I mean, out of the 2 things that you're hoping to find, it's probably the boots. But
oh, for sure.
It's unfortunate
Definitely.
They're up on Turtle Rock, of all places. Anyway.
Yeah, this feels like when you just chalk up to getting randoed and move on with your life, and maybe you'll practice more Master Sword Trinex, but past that, I don't think.
Yeah, we'll do some more Trinex. That should be fun. No, looking forward to next week.
Yeah, who you got next week? Guess I could look that up.
Imagine if there was a website where you could look all this information up, like
Yeah,
ALTTPRleague.com. It has your results, your schedules, your teams for both the Invitational League and the Open League. ALTTPRleague.com with all the information you need for the Linked Pass Randomizer League.
And we do have But We're Buddies is going to be playing WJPDTP next week. Oh, wait, that's week 1. Never mind.
No, that's week 1. They're playing Swagger Jackson.
Oh, yep, there we go. Old Swagger Jansen and the Double Dippers will be playing They Vetoed Our Acronym. So it should be fun in the casual boots mode that's coming up next week. What are your thoughts on that, both of you?
I don't know. Looking forward to it. My Open is definitely my least favorite mode, and I don't know if that's just because it's been years and years and years of just running these open mode seeds over and over and over again. But yeah, I don't know. Casual boots is fun. Casual boots is great.
I'm taking off next week, so my teammates are gonna go around that one.
I'm pretty sure I'm slated for that. We'll see.
We will see. It'll be an interesting time next week getting some casual boots races in. Any final takeaways as we watch you try and do Turtle again, which I guess does not go well again?
No, I don't mean to spoil things. But...
tstew, any final takeaways from the week?
Not really. Just thanks for coming. And GG's to Fantallis.
Yeah, GG. Happy Halloween. Oh.
It is Halloween. Happy Halloween out to all of you in chat. Also to those of us in the booth here. And thank you to our runners. GG's to tstew. That does put you, I believe that puts your team tied in first place with a few other teams. Of course, the week's still going, at least one more race, I believe, going on in this division. So.
Yeah, looks like we're going to end the week with 3 or 4 teams at 3-1 in the Misery Mire division. Still plenty of time for But We're Buddies to get those get points in the next 5 weeks and make the playoffs, but put themselves behind the 8-ball here in the first couple weeks. Thank you once again to Fantallis and tstew for racing today. Give those two a follow. Unfortunately, our command bot is a little sleepy, enjoying a Halloween weekend. But give those two a follow. Would also like to give a big shout out to our tracker today, 2D Tones, for keeping us informed on what's what and who's where. Really the hardest job in Rando, to be sure.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Always appreciate those trackers. Can't say enough about them. We do have more races on the schedule today. Might still be going on over on Speed Gaming 3. We have Team Jaime versus I Like Big Boots. Kermit versus Ganon's Gone Wild. At 4:10, we have Did You Check Your Boot versus They Vetoed Our Acronym, Rampant Revenant versus Act the Boker. And at 8:10, we have Team Kappa versus Yutang Clan, Gamachu versus Solski. And a whole lot of races going on tomorrow to finish out the week, so definitely keep an eye on that Speed Gaming schedule.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So enjoy the races today on across all of our Speed Gaming channels. And Tracy, It's been a good weekend, good week of racing.
We've done a couple of these. And it's been fun.
Yeah, I hope to get to do some more commentary with you in the future.
Absolutely.
But for today, that's going to be it. Everyone have a good afternoon, good weekend, and Tracy, send them home.
Yeah, have a nice, happy, and safe Halloween, everyone. See you later.